has a really fun talk title, We're Living in a Post-Arduino World. He also has a really cool accessory that's hiding under there that I guess you're going to see really soon. And his talk description is, programming electronics is difficult enough with finding all the right tools, sensors, and components. So why would you want to learn C and C++ too? I agree. Well, now you don't need to. So let's give a round of applause to Andrew.
Yeah, okay. Hello, I'm Andrew Chalkley, or Chalkers on the internet. I host That Maker Show, which is a public access show on Portland Community Media and Metro East. And I'm also the project lead at Things SDK, which is a community-based project to get people up and ready on cheap wireless microcontrollers. So the talk title is, we're living in a post-Arduino world. If you don't know what an Arduino is, it looks like this, and it's this size. No, it's not that size. And Arduino is great. I know the title of the talk is very clickbaity, but Arduino is great. It was the first really affordable microcontroller that was beginner friendly. The Uno costs about $25, and it's a microcontroller. What is a microcontroller? It's an instant-on computer with low power, a little bit of memory and computer power, for doing simple tasks like controlling displays, reading input from sensors, and controlling motors. And you write C or C++ code for this thing, and it was primarily targeted at creative professionals who were getting into visualization using processing, and they basically forked the IDE and mixed it up with this other stuff in order to create like a similar interface for programming electronics. And this is like launched the whole maker industry as we know it today with all these other things. But things have moved on since the Arduino was released. Moore's law still goes forward. So things got smaller and more powerful and more efficient. Also, this is $2 and not $25. And it's tiny. It's this size, and there's a development board around it, and there's some more around here. It's more powerful than an Arduino. It's called the ESP8266. It's also a microcontroller. And you don't have to just write C++ or C on this. You can use interpreted languages like Lua, which is a scripting language, Python, which is a scripting language, and JavaScript. Who knows any of those languages there? Quite a few. Who knows C and C++? A few less. Okay, cool. So this development board, this development board here is about $3 to $4 delivered, and it's got a USB port where you can program the microcontroller on board. And it's got Wi-Fi built in. So the Arduino doesn't have that Wi-Fi built in. This thing does, and it's $2. We talk about diversity in terms of gender, race, and orientation, but there's a lot of other people who can't necessarily get into electronics because it's so expensive. And if we want to progress as an industry, we need to include more and more people. I think 3 billion people on this planet live on less than $2.50 a day. This is $2, so this is getting even more accessible to more and more regions around the world. We often think about the IoT as something that benefits us in the West, but it can also benefit other people, like creating a mesh network for an early alarm system for some tragedy or attacks. So I've made it my personal mission to get people up and running on these development boards. and I'm convincing people to help because we're doing stuff. And that's where Things SDK comes in. Let's see if it works. Where did it go? Okay, there's a slide, but I might as well show you the thing. So hello to Pumpy. So I was inspired by this Arduino project. It was about 3 years ago, and it was written in C++, and it was I couldn't find the code anywhere. So these animations would take forever to write, ones and zeros all the time. So I created a React application like this. Where you can start like animating things. This is a video of it in action. So this is in React, and it generates the C++ code. And I thought, oh, I can paste that into this really mature Arduino library. And it wasn't that simple. I tried to create a function somewhere. It was giving me all these weird errors. So with Things SDK, you can install JavaScript on these things. So I said, oh, let's write this in JavaScript, and I did. And it was really easy, and it was cool. So it generates the animation frames, and you just send it to the displays. So we're getting to a point where we can build our tools, like the flashing tool is written in JavaScript. This is written in JavaScript. The code written on this pumpkin is not attached to any other computer. This $2 microcontroller is running JavaScript. It can run Python as well if you want. So, yeah, I created this, it's called the Animatrix. So you animate a matrix. And so, yeah, it generates JavaScript and C++ code, if you know what you're doing with C++. The next thing I'm going to show you today is Wi-Fi Gotcha. So if you go to wifigotcha.com, it will control this pet here. This like a Tamagotchi back in the 90s. And just like us, it doesn't know how to feel unless it's on the internet and it's being told how to feel. So it's feeling meh right now, happy and frowning more. So yeah, this is a massively multiplayer online Tamagotchi. Everyone can play with it and give it its emotions. It's just like my Twitter stream. Okay, cool. So that's another thing. That's all written with Things SDK using JavaScript on a $4 development board. And with Things SDK as well, we're giving ways for people to use these development boards with zero coding and able to connect to things like the Alexa and switch things on and off. Oh, hello, Alexa. she turned on when I said Alexa the first time. Yeah, you're doing it again, aren't you? Okay. Okay, here we go. This didn't work earlier, but I'm hoping the Wi-Fi gods is on my side. Alexa, turn the green light on.
Sorry, I couldn't find a device.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, it's probably because we're on an enterprise network, but whatever. So this thing is actually using universal plug and play. So it's broadcasting those kind of characteristics. And you can say to Alexa, discover devices. Alexa, discover devices.
Starting discovery. This can take up to 20 seconds.
Okay.
If you have Philips Hue, press the button on your bridge.
So she said something about Philips Hue bridge. This doesn't need a bridge. It can talk directly to the Alexa when it can find it. It's an echo.
What would you like to order?
Nothing.
What would you like to order?
Nothing. Shh. Anyway, it's great so that you can start like doing home automation in your own home. But how does it work? Well, I spoke about this flashing tool earlier. So this is how you get MicroPython or JavaScript on these ESP8266s. But instead of downloading all these funky libraries and making sure they're put in the right directory and blah, 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 just click flash and it'll flash the firmware to one of these devices. And what will happen then is it will start a wireless access point and it'll say thing switch. And you connect to thing switch and you give it the Wi-Fi password and username, and you can give it the name of the device and what pin you want to switch on and off. So it's really simple to do. So that device there is called green light, and it can switch it on and off. This is the ESP8266. There's a new board coming out called the ESP32, which also has Bluetooth. So maybe we can get around these corporate Wi-Fi things in the future. So, if you want more information about Things SDK, go to thingsSDK.com. I run a local meetup called JavaScript and the Internet of Things, where this project span out of. It's not backed by any company. It's a community effort. So, if you're a professional JavaScript developer, you can use the tools that you're used to, like Visual Studio Code, NPM, and push things to the device itself. So you don't need to use all these weird tools that affect your workflow. So there was a place in the market which wasn't catered for. That was the professional JavaScript developers, and that's what we wanted to do. And you can check out the Maker Show where we talk about what microcontrollers are, 3D printing, and all that sort of stuff. And I hope I've inspired you with some of these projects, what you can do with JavaScript and the Internet of Things.